Hey, what is shaking YouTube? So today we're going to do another electric skateboard buyer's guide. So I did this last year. I had like 10 of my boards in there. And the video went really well. It's actually one of my most viewed videos of all last year. Did really well. So I'm going to use 5 boards that are like new to this year that weren't in that first video. And also too, these are probably the 5 boards that I would most consider if I was going to get an electric skateboard. Right off the bat, I would tell you, I would never spend over $800 on a board. All boards that are over $800, you can get something a little cheaper that's just as good. It's kind of, at that point, you're basically just paying for a name. If you buy a boosted board or something like that, not to knock on them, but some of these boards can actually outperform a boosted board, and it's going to cost you, a boosted board's like $1,200. So we're just going to get right into it. I got 2 boards that are belt driven, and I got 3 boards over here that are hub motor. So we're going to start with one of these hub motor boards. We're going to start right here with the Ride One Up board. One of the newer boards that I got. I've had this probably for like 3 months or so now. Quite a bit of wear on it. You can see it's quite dirty. I got caught in the rain a couple times. It's held up really good. I like how this board has the kicktail. If you're like an old school type person, you want a board with an old school feel. This is really nice. Also too, it is nice when you're like on a sidewalk and there's a 90-degree turn. You don't have to grab your board and turn it. You can actually just turn it with your kicktail. So really cool. You could just kick turn it. Also too, this is the only board I have that has a graphic on the bottom like a regular skateboard. So that is just super cool. Also too, there's like cutouts for the wheel bite there. So there's a lot of little things that went into consideration with this board. It's also motion activated. So that's not gonna, maybe if I hit it on the ground. Or is it already on? I don't know. Anyways, to turn it on, you can start kicking it and it'll turn on by itself. So that's pretty cool. A lot of these boards actually have that feature. But it's really nice. Also too, I really like the green wheels. It just looks cool. Also, this board has one of my favorite remotes because the remote has a speedometer on it. It's got the board, the battery level, the remote battery level. It's real easy to use. But I really like how there's a built-in speedometer that is actually accurate on this one. So that is a very good board for the price. I've done full reviews on all these if you want to check out a full review. But yeah, this board, this is one of my favorite boards. Con to it is the deck is really stiff. So and it's actually quite high. So if you're somebody you don't like really tall boards and you don't like real stiff boards, you might be swayed away by the deck on this one. But other than that, it's really awesome. And even if you've never rode a little bit of a stiffer board, you'll get used to it after a while. The stiffness actually can also be said about this board over here, the Koowheel. This is the DM3 Onyx version 2. So I've done a review on this one, as well as the original Koowheel Onyx. Both boards I've had great experiences with, but this one in particular, I really liked the way they stepped it up. They made the back wheels, you can just remove the urethane, replace new urethane, so you don't have to replace the whole motors and everything. This board though is also very stiff because how the battery is here, just on the wood deck. Also too though, this battery is amazing. This is probably one of my most reliable boards, but this battery, you can go like, I swear, like over 20 miles with this thing on one charge. It is crazy. And you can get a second battery. You could take it out with this pin here, and you could have that battery like in a backpack. So, I mean, you could literally ride this thing till you just get exhausted or your feet start to hurt before the battery actually runs out. Very reliable. This one though, the remote, a little different. Kind of cheap feeling. I have crashed. There are some scratches on there. Nothing terrible, but some scratches on there. But overall, really nice. I believe there's only 2 speed modes out here, but oh no, there is 3 speed modes, I think. But yeah, to turn it on, you like click it 5 times. That is the fastest mode. Very, very fast. It almost like rattles because it's going so fast. Actually, it does kind of rattle. Very, very reliable board. I also have the Koowheel safe lights on here, but these lights are made by Koowheel, but you can put them on any skateboard, longboard, whatever, so very, very reliable board. I've had nothing but good experiences with Koowheel. They actually have an office in Wisconsin, which is only like an hour from me. So every time I've ever had to deal with them, it was extremely pleasant. But then again, I've never had anything break or anything where I had to get a hold of them. But as far as sending me products and stuff like that and talking, the customer service, whenever I email, they email me right back. Yeah, but yeah, I've had, this board probably has more wear. Actually, I'm positive it has more wear and tear on it than any of my other boards. I don't know if you can tell how beat up it is, but there's probably over, I don't know, at least 50, 60 miles on this thing. I've ridden this board a lot. A lot. Okay, we'll do, here, let's do a couple belt-driven boards just to mix it up. Okay, first we're going to take a look at the V-Star board. Now this board is actually really, really nice. I like, first off, how it has a handle, which is cool. But it's got a little bit of a flex to it, not a crazy flex, but it definitely has enough of a flex where it absorbs the impact of your ride a little bit. It just has your classic battery on one side, CPU on the other side. A lot of these boards have. Here is how the belts are and everything. Now, it will be a little tricky when you have to change belts, especially because they didn't come with any directions on how to do it. But it looks simple enough. It looks like you just remove these two Allen heads right here. This will pop off. You can put in your new belt. But that being said, I haven't had to change the belts yet. I probably have maybe around 20 miles on this board. I've ridden it quite a bit, but nothing crazy. It is a nice feeling board though. It is crazy fast though. The cons with this board would definitely be the braking and the acceleration are, especially on the high modes, are crazy. So this is probably the fastest board I own. I tied with the Only One board. They're both equally fast, but belt-driven boards, if you've never ridden one, they have crazy torque, and then when they brake, the belt has to stop spinning, so they just like lock up. So you have to be a little more advanced, I think, if you're gonna ride a belt-driven board. So know that going into it. All these whole motor boards have really nice braking where you hit the brake, it's like, ooh. This, you hit the brake, it's like, you know, you gotta be ready. Okay, so know that going into it. As far as the remote is nice. It's got LED lights. It's got the, you know, switches on the sides and everything, but there's no LCD screen, nothing like that. So not quite as nice of a remote as like the Ride One Up board or the Wallgo 3, which we'll get into in a minute. But overall, still a really nice remote. Not too much to it. Okay, now next we're going to look at the Only One board, which is very similar, but still some differences. I've actually done a full comparison comparing these two boards. So you can click right there if you want to watch that. But here, let's look at this. The Only One board here. Okay, so this board, my newest board actually, can you see, look at the light reflecting? It's got this major concave. So this board is extremely stiff too because the way the battery is, and these are actually LED lights. If you hold down the power, I think you hold down the power button or I can't remember which button you hold down, the reverse button or something, it'll turn these on. And it's pretty cool, there's some lights on there. But this is also a belt-driven board, so it's going to have those same crazy acceleration, crazy braking. But yeah, it has the most top speed. So if you're a speed demon, your main thing is you want speed, you're going to want to look at these two boards. There's nothing on the market that's as fast as these two boards. And these boards, as far as I know, they use pretty much the same CPU and the same battery. They both have two battery options and, you know, the same sizes basically. So that's why you're basically getting the same, like the components, but the board itself is a lot different. Like this one's got the major concave, which is really nice. Your feet fit in there just really, really nice. They feel good, but as far as like the trucks and everything, they're pretty much the same. I believe the wheels are a little bigger on the V-Star board. We got a little bit smaller diameter wheels here on the Only One board, but they both basically use the exact same remote. So here was the V-Star one. Now here is the Only One. The only difference is there's not a sticker on the Only One board. Other than that, totally the same remotes. So these boards both use a lot of the same components. So when you're choosing between these two, it's going to be a little bit of preference on what you want, that nice concave, or do you want that little bit of flex and the handle. I've done a full comparison on those two boards. You can check that out. Okay, now lastly, we're going to take a look at the Wallgo 3, which is definitely, without a doubt, the board I use the most, hands down. This is actually a prototype version of it, but if you get a production one, it's the exact same thing, except my wheels make a little clicking noise because this was a prototype and they made it slightly bigger. There's a way, they sent me replacements, but I'm not going to change them out until they're totally worn out. But if you get one of these boards, it won't have that click noise like mine does. This board, as you'll notice, it looks a lot like the boosted board. They almost went for like the boosted board look. This board has a flex on it, like a big time flex. Unlike any of the other boards I've ever reviewed on my channel, all 15 of the boards I've reviewed on my channel, by far the most flex is on this one. It literally is just like perfectly bouncy, which is why I ride this one so much. One of the reasons why I ride this one so much is mostly because it absorbs the impact. Your feet never hurt. It's just a fun, easy ride. Also, too, I really like the bright colors. I feel like cars and other people, it's easier for them to see you. And also, too, when you order one of these, if you want, they'll cut a hole for a handle. I believe in like the special notes, you just write handle, and they'll cut a handle for free. So this was a prototype, so this is just how they sent it to me. This one's also motion activated, so if I just drop it on the ground, it'll turn on, which is really cool. But this one has Paris trucks. So this board, not only is it the most flexible, it handles by far the best. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This is by far my favorite electric skateboard that I've ever owned. And I ride it, like right now, I only live less than a mile from my work, so I pretty much skateboard to work every day. And if this board is charged, it's always the one I take. I rotate the other ones out because, you know, I like them all, but this is without a doubt my favorite board. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. It is my favorite board. And also too, it is holding up really nice. Like, I mean, other than the grip tape being really dirty, because I've been riding it through all sorts of crazy stuff, it's actually, I mean, holding up tremendously. And on top of that, this board probably has my favorite remote. It has a LED screen, so everything's just on the screen here. Let me turn the board on. And it's got your 3 speed modes. That's there's speed 3, or 4 speed modes actually. It's got speed 1, 2, 3, and turbo. That's the turbo. You can hear that little clicking when I brake. Now that's just something you hear. That's not something that affects anything. That's because I have a prototype model. They fixed that on the real production models, but it's not anything that affects how it goes. It just sounds goofy when you brake a little sometimes. And that is because, yeah, once again, this isn't quite tight enough on there. But they sent me replacement wheels, so once again, I just got to put them on because I'm lazy. But yeah, you get an odometer and speedometer on the remote. But I like how it's like this flat black. It's just really sleek, cool looking, and very unique. I have basically all the remote. Well, actually, no, the Koowheel is the only board I have that has that remote. And this is the only board I have that is remote. But these boards over here, I've had several boards that had the same type of remote, just slightly different and stuff. But this is the first board I've had that has this. And I've also checked out the Wallgo 2. The Wallgo 2 is awesome. And it's actually really cheap now since the Wallgo 3 came out. But I think if you're in the market, I would spend the extra money and get the Wallgo 3. Just your overall ride experience is that much more fun. And this board has amazing brakes. Actually, all 3 of these boards have really good brakes. But the Wallgo has the best brakes. Like, it doesn't... You can be going 25 miles an hour, you slam on the brakes, and it'll go, and you just, like, you don't have to worry about getting flying off of it. Same thing with the acceleration. You know, if you're on the turbo mode, yeah, you got some torque, but it's still definitely manageable. Where when you are riding on the only one board, or the V-Star board, you got to be knowing what you're doing. Like, those are, the fast modes on those boards are for advanced riders only. You should wear a helmet, all that good stuff. But yeah, this was just basically my top 5 boards that I would look at if I was somebody buying an electric skateboard the end of summer 2019. So I'll try to make more of these videos as I get more boards and stuff, and hopefully companies continue to send me boards and I can keep making videos like this for you guys. But let me know what videos you guys want to see me with these boards. You want to see me take them this place, do this? I don't know. Just let me know down in the comments. I love hearing all you guys' good ideas. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll put links to all these boards down below, and peace out.